artists, we're getting started on our hollow form clay project today. First thing I'm going to do is take off a little bit of clay from each chunk. And the extra clay I'm taking off from each chunk will be for details that you're going to add to yours. For example, I'm doing a piggy bank, so they'll be for my legs and nose and ears and things like that. Now with my 2 leftover bigger chunks of clay, I'm just going to pack them and roll them in between my hands. I could also certainly use the table or use my little mat. These certainly don't have to be perfect. Now when I'm done, I'm going to give a thumbs up and go ahead and put my thumb into that ball of clay like so. Then of course our pinch pot technique is going to be a pinching method with our hand that has the thumb inside of that ball of clay. My other hand right here is going to be my turning hand. So as I pinch and turn, what's happening to that thumb hole? It is of course getting bigger. Now I don't want to go too wide with it and make the walls too thin, so I'm going to stop about right there. And I'm going to do the same thing to the other one. Thumb up, press my thumb in, and then go ahead and pinch and turn. Now in order to support our hollow form, I'm actually going to put a little paper towel inside each hole, and that's just going to kind of help hold that out as we work with the rest of our design. That will burn off in the kiln, so we will have some nice ashes when we finish. In order to put these together, I'm going to start out by scoring the edge of my clay. Now scoring, remember, is just really roughing up the surface of the clay, so it doesn't have to be pretty. You're not going to see the scoring at the end. Just rough it up. And then I'm working with something called slip. The slip, think about it like clay glue. It's basically just watered down, mushed up clay, but it acts like a nice little glue. I'm dabbing some of that slip onto the surfaces that I'm attaching. Now I'm going to put them together like so. I really need to go ahead and blend these two together. So I'm just taking my finger and I'm pulling the clay from one side to the other. Notice I'm going both directions, that's fine. Now if you prefer to do this with one of your tools, you certainly may. That works as well. The big thing is you want to completely erase that line that you see in between your clay pieces. Now of course I can go through here, now that I have these completely attached and blended together, smooth out any places I need to smooth, or I could save that till the end. Now following along with my design, I'm going to have a little kind of coin slot right at the top, and so I think I'm going to use my smaller wooden pick to make that little coin slot. Now it's very, very important that you do have an air escape hole. So this coin slot will serve as my air escape hole. If you trap that air in your hollow form, not give it your air and escape hole, in the kiln it will go and it will blow up. It will not hurt anybody or anything outside the kiln, but you will lose your art project and possibly other people around yours will be affected too. So you can see that that goes all the way down to those paper towels in there. And I can of course smooth that out as needed. Following my design, I'm going to go ahead and scratch up the surface where I want to put that pig nose. And I'm going to form my little pig nose. I formed a little pebble. I'm pinching it flat into a little pancake, scoring or roughing up that surface, tapping a little bit of slip on there, and then I'm going to press it on. Easy peasy. Now that's pressed on. Is that going to stick? No, not really. We really have to go ahead and pull down the clay on all sides. So you can see I'm essentially, once again, erasing that line that exists in between the part that I'm attaching and the body. Since it's a piggy, I'm going to go ahead and put my little pick in and draw those little circles for the nose. Now for the eyes, I could attach eyes on there, or I can just kind of put my little pick in and draw circles again. I think I'm going to do that. The ears, I could pinch them up, or I could add them on. I'm going to add mine on. Attaching little parts like ears, you want to make sure that they're thick enough that they're not going to easily break off. So once again, I'm going to take that tool and blend those together. So I'm pulling the clay from the ears down onto the body. I'm doing now is I'm forming the legs and I'm preparing them to attach. Roll them kind of into a little ball or pebble, and then I just kind of rolled them to start kind of the shape of a coil, but I stopped while it was still really, really thick. So in adding these legs, I've kind of plunked the clay down a couple times to make sure that these legs can support my little pig body. And you can see by plunking it down very gently, I've also created kind of a little flat bottom on each of these legs. In order to make sure these legs stay extra strong, I could also take a little extra clay and kind of smooth it down to reinforce the attachment area. Just make it a little bit thicker so you can see how I'm kind of thickening that area. Now that I've gone around and added some clay and really reinforced each of those legs and know that they will support my pig really, really nicely, I noticed that my little coin slot right here, my little air hole more importantly, has kind of gotten a little closed up. So I just want to make sure that I go back through here and reopen that air hole. When you are done with your design, it's going to be very, very important to make sure that that air hole has not gotten closed up in any way. And finally, looking at my design right here, I have written down add wire tail, so I'm going to make a hole in the clay. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take my metal pick right here and I'm going to make a little hole. I'm going to draw just a little circle a little bit wide so I make sure that there's plenty of room to add that wire in. And of course, we will add the wire in after it is completely fired, since we will not fire that wire with it. And when I'm done, I will find a little place underneath, probably on the belly of mine, or wherever is underneath on yours, scratch in my name as well as my class number. Thanks for watching, guys. Can't wait to see these.